Welcome to another rather awesome YouTube video here on the channel. God damn it, mobile phone. So here we are at Edinburgh Waverley Station. We're in the class. Well, we're in a Mark III DVT with some ex-Virgin ScotRail coaches and a Rail Freight Distribution 90021 on the back. Today we're going to be driving both of these locomotives as we are doing a run that is based around 2004. Where these locos, or these sets, ran from Edinburgh out to North Berwick. We head out as 1 Yankee 06, returning as 2 Yankee 54, 2 Yankee 35. It's a round trip. So we leave Edinburgh and we return back to Edinburgh. Okay then, so let's, without further ado, do some trains. So in the cab, I'm going to pop the doors open. There you go. We are going to whap the tail lamps off, marker lights can come on, headlights can go to day running. I can turn the actual train supply on, but I do need to go to the rear cab anyway. To turn on the tail lamps here. And then we can go whoop, like that. So I say we're going to be calling out Edinburgh Waverley, Dram, North Berwick. They're coming back via Drem, Longniddry, Preston Pans, Wallingford, Musselburgh, and finally onto platform 4 over the other side. Actually, correction, behind us. Yeah, platform 4's behind us, I believe. Quick tour of the cab of the Mark III DVT. From left to right, got the parking brake, that's released. Aircon controls. I hear a 91. There's the 91. Hello. Part of the setup procedure, we do need to enable the reversing controls. Just checking outside the cab. Every time you tab outside the cab, you get the do. The next train at platform 4 is the 0824 service. Oof. We'll leave the DRA on because we are against a red aspect at the moment. Our starting limit is 20 miles an hour, so we'll get that bugged. So this is the speed set system. We'll actually go from right to left. AWS reset, 2-tone horn. I've got the 4-step reverser, master key, throttle, windscreen wiper controls, ETS on off, with ETS turned on, driver guard buzzer. Pan up, pan down, we can control that remotely. The idea, I believe, is if there's something that you can see ahead, like a branch in the overhead lines, you can wallop that and it'll drop the pantograph down to protect it. At the rear of the set. We've got the preparation notes, speedometer, as I mentioned, speed set, brake pipe pressure, main reservoir pressure, brake cylinder pressure, the clipboard lights, cab lights, the instrument lights, which we're going to set to low, brake overcharge, parking brake on off, TPWS controls, and cab secure radio controls. That's the grand tour, and we've also got the brake control and the emergency brake plunger. We've now got the road set, so we can release the DRA. There's the buzz, so we'll put the reverser forward. Clear the DSD self-test. I'm going to go about half power. Can let the brake off first, that'll help. And then give it about half power. You always get a little bit of a drop when you're moving away with a push-pull set, unfortunately. So yeah, I've got the 20 limit in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it up to full. Now, when we get close to, when we start passing the signal, start approaching the signal, we can then notch up to 60 miles an hour. Okay, that'll do me. So yeah, there goes the power in. You always get a little bit of a jolt when you're in the south end of a train that has a DVT. Okay, well now what we're going to do is going to notch up the power to 90 miles an hour. And you get a little bit distracted there. So that is the branch line from Leith Docks. Unfortunately, we've got the fauna coming through. I'm not sure why it's doing that. It never used to. I'm just going to slightly adjust the volume. There we go. On the right there, that's Craig and Tinney Depot. Got a Class 67 in there, some 90s, and yeah, Voyager in the distance. Got some HSTs, just chilling like villains. So yeah, the Class 90s and Mark 3s were actually brought in by First Scot Rail to cover for a shortage of VMUs on this route. And I actually think they're quite nice units. The only thing I notice when I'm driving with these is it is very difficult to get slowed down. So if you accidentally find yourself travelling a bit fast, yeah, good luck with that. This actually here is the overhead line train from when they electrified the East Coast. I believe it's some old Thomson carriages, which are sort of steam era carriages, and they've just sort of dumped it there once they were done with it. It was definitely though from an era when the way that the overhead line was sort of thingied up. The way they erected overhead line in the days of these sort of things, in the days of those things, was men running up and down the length of the coaches with cables. It's a little bit more high tech now, I do believe. Not much, but a little bit. One of the cool things I've found lately to look at is this. It's sort of like a detailed view of what the train's actually doing. Give the driver of the opposite opposing train a little bit of a wave. So you can see that it's actually holding us about a mile an hour under the speed limit to give itself time to react if we end up going down a hill. So obviously it doesn't know what the layout of the track is. That line to our right there is actually the line joining us from Miller Hill Yard. Okay, Class 66 on HAAs. That's a bit of a throwback. I think he's probably off into Miller Hill Yard. There's the 125. So what we can actually do is notch up to top speed now, which is 110. I'm going to keep our eyes out now because the next speed limit is a 105 limit, and we just need to basically chop power and use a little bit of manual braking. So it's quite a quick brake application. We need to lose 5 miles an hour. So it is quite a fast drive, this. And this section of the East Coast is largely, very well. For the north end of the East Coast, it's very straight. That's how you can enjoy such high speed limits here. But really, once you pass Dunbar, it slows down again. That would be Preston Plant Station we're now passing. And over there on the left, that is a power station. Can't recall the name of it though, offhand. These reskins, by the way, are available from the Vulcan Productions website, as is this scenario. All available as part of the pack. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make this a two-parter. I know it will be 2 parts of 30 minutes each, but it's actually going to make the video a nicer experience for you guys to watch. So I'm going to get rid of the procedural flora in between. I do enjoy as well just looking at these side windows on these sort of units. I'm just whizzing past the world. So Freightliner 66 looks to be concrete coming up at Oxford Mains, which is now run by Colas. We're getting some nice FPS up here. Yeah, 50 to 60 FPS, very good. The procedural flora option, which I'm going to get rid of, is just going to get rid of all this clutter in the trackbed. It looks like it does look like Network Rail needs to deploy a weed killing train over here. So as soon as we get visual on the dual amber aspect, which will indicate our deceleration for DREM and the turn off into the goods loop, I'm actually going to go into a step 5 brake application. It's a beautifully fast run, this section. You can see as well, you've got this little covered power handle here. What that does, that allows you to stand in the door, watching out the window as you shunt, and actually controlling the power with that lever there. So it does give you sort of reduced capabilities in terms of power applications. Just a cool idea though, because these windows obviously don't open, so you can't put your head out and, yeah. It's just something that's unique to the 90s and the 91s. So you've got the second man's seat over there, you've got the duplication of those controls. I believe that's a power and brake control. Okay. And we have gone in straight up into full service. Good. You can see this thing just brakes atrociously. So we're going down to 40 miles an hour. What I've done is I put the power back in just to allow the rear statics to affect the train. Okay, yeah, we're going to actually use the brake. Oh god! I've messed up. Oh well, you're going to watch me reset and accept emergency brake application. You can see this thing slows down horribly though. Something that's unfortunately easy to do with this train is that's full service, that's emergency. So I did that. Really just clipped the emergency setting and it jumped. Nope. Spitting my dummy out. Hello. Hello. My name is Elderelli, and I have brought with me the most amazing book. Hello. Let's go straight back on the power. Bit of a jolt off the blocks there, but we needed to get some power on. Did you get off it go? And this is Dram Station. And so you got the 40 limit there, so what I'm actually going to do is just chop power. And then I'm going to set my target to 25. Just a gentle brake application, I'm going to give it half power, just to keep us going. And the speed limit at the end of the good clip's 25, and I believe we'll be a minute or 3 ahead of schedule. Yeah. I only use this to check the time because, oh, I could have done it that way, couldn't I? Oh well. You know what, I'm going to kick it up to 30, just to hold us, and then you can see we either could read around the main line from the Dram Goods Loop or turn left up here. And this is the branch line to North Berwick. By the way, in case you're wondering how I'm doing my notes, oh god, rip. That's how I'm doing my notes. I have OneNote set up. OneNotes are incredibly convenient, I'm just going to say that now. They're a great, I use them at work, and it's basically just a notepad, like a digital notepad. I use them for my call flow, so we have to gather certain information from customers and it goes into that, then it gets deleted at the end of the call. So there's actually just a 50 limit over this section. I wonder, looking at this grass alongside the track, could I RW tools it and replace the grass with like VP grass so it's a bit nicer looking. Yeah, I don't know why that song's stuck in my head. Well, I do, but oh god, they're everywhere. Those digger sounds, I hate them. It's just something I've experienced too much. Yeah, I think this curve could probably be a 50 curve, but I think it's just there'll be an issue with the track, which is why the limit's so stupidly low. So what we do is after passing the 50 board, we're going to count overhead line stanchions. So this is the first one we're going to pass. And then passing the third is where we accelerate it back up to the line speed of 50. Second. Third. Come on. Yep, moves the doors and shut down the DVT cab, change ends, and set up the Class 90 for the return departure to Edinburgh. It's 2 Yankee 35. I'm not sure how it. I think that's probably just a timed command after, like, a certain amount of time after you pass around loop. But yeah. So we are actually accelerating up quite a steep gradient here, north towards North Berwick. North Berwick is pretty much on the coast. Well, it is on the coast. So we go up a hill, then we go back down. At the point that we start going downhill is where we start braking again. So you can see we're going up a gradient here. So when the stanchions change signs, that's 1.3 miles to the station. Now when we get to... So this is us levelling off. It just feels like we're going intensely slowly. That's why. For some reason the reverse it's gone to neutral. And there we go. Look at that. Getting a bit more rapidity. That's the 1.3 miles. That's the marker here. Yeah, we've got 3 miles in 3 minutes, basically. No, 1.3 in 3, so we could just about make that. This is the 1.3 mile marker. But remember, as soon as we start going downhill, we need to start braking for the 25. So I find if you zoom in, it's easier to spot changes. We may have to full service it in for this, because the limit goes out to 25, then we enter the platform at 5 miles an hour. There's the downgrade there. You see it? I'm hoping to do North Wales Coastal in the not too distant future as well as a route learner. But going full length from thingy, right from Crewe, right there at the Holyhead. And then doing the Conwy Valley. Conwy Valley is really a lovely little route. It's obviously been rebuilt as of late due to some disagreements between the route and the land surrounding it, where it fell through and thingy. Oh, I also got my Build-A-Bear dog today. I can't keep calling him a Build-A-Bear bear. Yes, it's a she. Deal with that. I want to do a bit more of a video on that in the future. Interesting that we get the AWS or the multiboard for the 5. So just going to cruise down this hill at 25. It feels painfully slow, and it is, but it also means that we ain't going to go busting through the other end, going too fast by accident. And then I'll just use you can see that the train's automatically applying brake to keep us at 25. Right, we now could do a standing on the brakes. I'm actually going to take a bit of power for this myself. We need to get down to 25. Out of interest, yeah, there's no power actually going in. Good. That's close enough to 5 for it not to matter. Do you fancy releasing a brake? Hello? That was a strange occurrence. We are going to set it at 5 and just shut it down to the end. We're about a minute late on arrival, but I'm going to blame the braking issue for that. Because that was quite a strange one, because normally if you get an emergency brake application, you saw it when we accidentally got one on the approach to Tram, where it slammed back down to the bottom, right the way around to the 0 mark and completely emptied the brake cylinder. But yeah. It's rather old now. To me that livery still looks very old. And what I'm going to do is chop the power out again. As we remember, these things do have cheese brakes. Okay, so we're going to pop the doors open. That's as close to the end as I dare. We'll hit tail lamps on, marker lamps off, headlamp off. Reverser goes neutral, master key comes out. That's this cab shut down. So that's going to do it for part 1 of the run from the North Berwick to Edinburgh return. And we'll see you guys in part 2, where we'll be taking the train back in the other direction. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.